Hello there, good to be with you. Now, I am really delighted, excited and looking forward to a smashing hour today because the young lady that's sitting in the studio with me, well, I say young, but we both remember appearing together at the Liverpool Empire 25 years ago, so you know what I mean. And she is fab, an international vocalist, wonderfully Irish with a twinkle in her eye and other places on her body besides. It is the fabulous Rosemary. How fantastic to have you here today.
Hello there, Debbie. Great to be here and great to see you again. It's been too long.
Well, what I loved was when I walked in the studio and she said, "Sure, is it yourself?" I said, "I think so. I think." And I had a look, and yes, it was me. Yeah.
It's like everybody does my accent as soon as they see me. Even people with a posh accent to say, "Hi, hello there," and I don't talk like that. Well, I don't think I do.
You've got the most distinctive, beautiful, low, gravelly, sexy voice. I mean, you've been described as the Irish Bette Midler, haven't you?
Yes.
And are you a fan of Bette Midler?
Oh, huge, yes. Well, I love anybody that can sing and entertain and be funny and sort of all-round entertainers.
Yeah.
I'm not one, if I go to see a show, I don't want to see just a singer standing there.
No.
I want to see everything.
Boring,
I want to see personality.
Yeah.
I want to have a laugh.
Yeah.
And I just want to see, you know, just showmanship, you know.
And
so that was a compliment to get.
Oh,
sort of
God,
compared.
absolutely. I mean, I know that you are... I've helped, as in, you know, I've hosted a number of times shows you've been on, and you hold the audience in the palm of your hand. They all look at you slavishly, adoringly. What we're going to do, Rosemary, we're going to have just a little 30 seconds of you in action to show any people that have been living on the planet Mars and haven't seen you. Here's Rosemary.
God, the train robbers didn't get that.
She's got a good singing voice, but it's a warm. People just love it. It's that little magic thing.
We'll get by with a little help from all of us.
There we go. What a belting voice.
That was in Blackpool.
That was it?
I didn't know what you were going to show there.
Oh, well,
yes.
all we've done there is show just a quick 30 seconds of, of you doing your stuff, but we'll be seeing more of the proper stuff.
That was a happy time in Blackpool.
Well,
great audiences there.
Which
I love
pier were you
Blackpool.
on? The North?
I was in the South Pier.
The South Pier.
Yes.
I always get mixed up with them.
I had my own show there for the whole summer season, and I
how
loved
fab.
it. Yes.
And I believe that show, when you're out, when you're in Blackpool, it was more or less sold out all the time.
Yes.
The whole time.
Well, they came from near and far because you know, people when they come to Blackpool for their holidays, you know, you just never. They come from all parts of the north of England and the south, you know, and a few Europeans as well. So you never know who's in the audience, but it's always a lively crowd.
It is, and not only that,
the bar's always full in the interval.
Oh, I know. You don't drive them to the bar, do you, Rosemary?
Only in the interval.
The great thing about it is, though, with Blackpool, it's so near for so many people. So even if they're not staying on holiday, I know people that have said, "I'm going up to Blackpool to see Rosemary." You know, they'll travel for an hour or so because it's a lovely,
it's
lovely
that sort of place, isn't it? Yeah. I lived there for a few years when I was starting out my career, and I absolutely love it. So I have a soft spot for Blackpool.
Oh,
so
lovely. Now, you and I, we have actually sort of known each other for a long time, but we've never actually had a good chat like we'll have today, about how you got where you were. Who was your first ever audience? How old were you, and who did you very first ever sing to?
Well, I was brought up on a farm in Northern Ireland, and a place called Newry, just outside Newry, Northern Ireland. And since the age of 5, before going to school, I would have to milk the cows. So my first audience was a herd of old silly cows, because when you're milking cows, you have to you sing along, you know, because the acoustics in the byre was like being in your own bathroom, you know.
Right.
So I go, "Oh, Danny boy," and they'd wave their tails and all that there, because cows love music. And it's a known fact they love music, and they give better milk, and they won't kick you.
Yeah.
So I just used to love trying out my high notes, and while I was milking and just doing the rhythm, and because there was no machines in those days,
no,
you know.
Of course.
And I did all that before I went to school.
How many cows did you have to get through in the morning?
My sister and I used to milk them 4 on each side of the byre, and we'd squirt each milk on each other and stuff like that, you know. And we'd harmonise together as well.
How lovely.
And so, you know,
Was
And
it a
then-
happy childhood?
Yes, it was my childhood was a wee bit like Little House on the Prairie, you know,
Yeah.
because 5 girls and 1 boy, and it was all like a year between us
Yeah.
all. And, you know, brought up in the sticks on the farm and all
Yeah.
there, and with hens and chickens, pigs, and, you know, and...
Do you remember it with affection, or did
Yeah.
you wish you were like kids that weren't brought up on a farm?
Well, to be honest, yeah, I wanted the glamour. All I wanted to do since I was no age was be a singer. I wanted the
Yeah.
glam of it all, and it's not as glamorous as what people think. It's
No,
hard,
not at all.
very hard
Hard
work, as you
graft.
know. But yes, if you're brought up in the country, you want to live in the town, and I suppose it's the vice versa with people.
Absolutely.
You know, you always want what you haven't got. But a very loving childhood, great parents, and so, and you know, you'd go to school and you'd come back and you'd have to milk the cows before you'd have your tea, and in the
Yeah.
mornings you'd milk the cows before you have your breakfast, and then you
Yeah.
put your school uniform on and you go to
I
go
would
to school.
I would have grown
hard
up to
going.
hate those cows. Do you know what? Those cows would have come between me and the sleep.
Well, my sister and I, we had a favourite cow each, and we called them after the comics, the Bunty and the Judy.
Oh, yeah.
So mine was Bunty, and mine was a fair-haired cow, and I called her Bunty, and my sister's was Judy. There was the
She
two
was a
comics.
brunette?
She was a brunette. Yes. So those were our two favourites. But then you'd get the black ones maybe, and they'd be cross.
Yeah, yeah.
And you could get kicked and the
Yeah.
bucket would go and then that's the milk gone.
Yeah.
And that has to feed our family. So you had to be careful too, because the milk was the main source of income for my family, you
Right.
know. And
Great.
of
And
course,
are your parents still alive?
I just recently lost my father about 6 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and so I've just got my mummy now.
Yeah.
And so yes, it's a sad time when you lose a parent,
Oh,
because and you never would see my mummy without my daddy. They were very
Yeah.
much in love, you know,
Yeah.
and married for 56 years, you know.
Yeah.
So yes, it's
Yeah.
a pretty, you know,
Yeah,
sad
it's
for
a-
my mummy too.
It is. But the good thing is you have been amazingly successful. And we'll talk later on that you've been in Vegas, you've topped the bills in Vegas, you've done brilliantly right throughout your career. And your mummy and your daddy both saw you succeed.
That's right,
So that's
yes.
the great thing. They both saw their daughter do it
Yes.
to achieve her life dream. We're going to take a look now at the first part of a little show reel of yours.
Oh.
So here we go. Here's Rosemary.
I don't mean to waste your time, Doctor, but it was him who insisted I come.
So what's wrong? Clearly not just a sore throat.
I've got nodules on my vocal cords.
And when were they diagnosed?
Oh, I don't know. About 3 months ago, I think.
And what course of treatment was recommended?
Well, they sent me to some ear, nose and throat guy to check for throat cancer. I got the all clear. But the general consensus seemed to be to rest my voice.
And my guess is you haven't been doing that.
Well, I did cancel a few gigs here and there. If I stop singing, I lose everything. Including my husband. The first time the nodules were mentioned, I didn't tell Jimmy. Well, I just hinted that maybe I could take some time off. But sure, he's always got bookings lined up all around the block. And I feel I owe it to him to take them.
Jimmy has other clients he manages. Phone call just now. Susie, was it? Surely she could do some of your performances.
No, she could not. She's already replaced me in other areas.
How do you mean?
I mean, in the bedroom.
So that's it then. You're just going to ignore it.
Oh, I'm not giving up, if that's what you're driving at. We just need some time alone. That's why this job at the Holiday Centre is so important. It'll be 3 months with Jimmy all to myself.
Maggie, your voice may not last the night, let alone a 3-month gig. If you carry on singing, you could lose it for good.
Well, what do you suggest I do then? Let him take Susie and leave me at home hoping and praying that he'll come back? 'Cause he won't. My singing's the only thing that I've got that he's interested in now. If I can't give him that, then it's over. Look, Jimmy, I'm not singing tonight or any other night for that matter.
Listen, that doctor friend of yours says you're ill. He says it's more than a sore throat.
Well, he had no right to.
Well, I've got a right to know. I'm your husband.
Husband?
Maggie, what is wrong with you?
You're seeing that you're all concerned all of a sudden. I've got nodules on my vocal cords. I can't sing for months. I might never sing again.
What?
I've got a rest from now on. So that's the Holiday Centre, my career, Everything up the spout.
Listen, forget about the holiday centre. Susie Kay can do that on her own.
Oh, I bet she can. Go on, Jimmy. You go on and have a good time.
I said on her own.
What?
Maggie, if you're ill, I want to be with you.
Oh, I want to see the whole of that. Now that was just a brief example of Rosemary's brilliant acting abilities. That's fab. Absolutely super.
Thank you very much, Debbie.
You are very talented.
That was Doctors.
Well, we're going to see a little bit more of that after this break. Hi there, good to be with you now. Today I'm with Irish international vocalist, very funny woman, fabulous voice, Rosemary, and we have known each other for many, many years. You wanted to be, your hero, you wanted to be a female Tom Jones, didn't you, in the early years?
Well, I love entertainers, you know, and because he's got a sort of a raspy, powerful voice, which I have as well, I mean, you know, nobody sleeps when I'm on, you know. So I used to love watching his early TV shows when I was growing up, and and that hand would go on the microphone and the big ring and everything. And I remember getting so excited as he launched in, he was giving it all the movements and everything. And I just thought, fabulous singer and great entertainer, and still is. And I hung up out with him in Vegas, and his shows are still fantastic.
Oh, he's
you know,
unbelievably.
There's less knickers been thrown now. You know what I mean? The odd pair gets thrown, but
and the odd Zimmer.
the odd Zimmer, But yeah, fabulous.
Yeah, a little tenor lady there chucked onto the stage.
Don't do too much information.
Tell me, where you were brought up, you were saying you were brought up on the farm, milking those blessed cows. What did your mum and dad want you to be? What was did they push you towards a proper job at first?
Oh, very much so. And I was the firstborn, so they were very protective of me. And they knew I wanted to be a singer, but, you know, get a proper job. So I wasn't very academic at school, so I never passed any exams. So they sort of said, well, you can go into hairdressing, you don't need any exams to do that. You'll be washing people's hair, sweeping the floor and all that there. And then you learn your craft as you go along. But, oh, I had so many disasters. I was a hopeless hairdresser. And what I would do was go into when the people would be underneath the hairdryers, and in those days the hairdryers were very loud, and I'd play my guitar, play my accordion, sing along, they go, and then all I wanted to do was read their magazines. But I had a disaster at hairdressing. It was a cheap perm day for the pensioners, and they all wanted like the curls up here, and you know, very straight hair. And this wee woman had a short neck.
That was a horrible style.
I know,
like a poodle on top.
Yes, it's true. And
dead manly. It's just like a short back and side.
So it would last them, you see, because people couldn't afford it, you know. And so get it as short as you can, so it would last you. Would be what they were thinking.
It'd be better just having a shaved
head.
Oh,
for goodness' sake! But this wee woman, Debbie, she had a wee short neck, and she had like, you know, that sort of like flobber-lob earlobes that hang, you know, they just go flobber-lob.
As you get older, your earlobes.
So I am trying to go short as I can, and didn't I snip a piece of her ear off? And there was a white towel around her shoulders. And so she she was reading her paper and felt nothing until she saw all the blood on the white towel and went, "Ah!" And then got up, hand on the ear, ran down the stairs and out onto the street where people could see.
No.
And 2 days later, another woman took an epileptic fit underneath the hairdryer. Ambulance was called. This was a main street where I did the hairdressing. And if there was a wedding, people would look at the cathedral and watch the weddings. If there was an ambulance, oh, who's ill? Or if there was a fire engine. So, and then everybody knew it was me, you know, Rosemary, doing hairdressing. And, she electrocuted. It was all around the town. I electrocuted the woman. And she took a fit underneath the hairdryer. So the hairdressing got less and less and less. And I just wasn't cut out for it, Debbie.
Oh,
bang, bang.
Boom, boom. Bucket of fish. Very good.
Yes, that was my career in hairdressing. And basically, I was hopeless and very frustrated because I used to say to my mummy and daddy, well, mummy was a bit more lenient, but said, go and ask your father. I want to be a singer. Go and ask your father. You're not leaving this home. You're not going to London. Just being protective and quite strict, my father was.
So how did you escape into the world of singing?
Well, what I used to do is sing at a lot of senior citizens' homes and hospitals and religious places and everything, and, you know, get used to singing in front of an audience.
Yeah.
And basically I had to wait till I was 18, you know, and then, you know, left for London, and it's, my goodness, when they say Dick Whittington and the streets are paved with gold.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a culture shock for me, because I was a wee country girl.
And what did you go on your own, or did you go with a friend?
I went on my own. And I made some contacts over there, but I auditioned for Opportunity Knocks and I didn't get on.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of talent competitions in Ireland, and then came. I got somebody that got me on. I was on New Faces, and I didn't do well on that either. Jim Davison won when I was on that.
How weird.
And then built up, got an agent, and got stage clothes, like sparkly tops, like what you're wearing. And I had to get, you know, the musicians would say, "Have you got your dots, love? Dots? What is dots?" You know, and that's your musical arrangements, because you have to have money to get that.
Yes.
And you have to got to get yourself an agent.
Where did you live?
I lived in Shepherd's Bush when I first came over. Shepherd's Bush / Hammersmith. And then I auditioned for Search for a Star, and that's when it took off. That's what really took off.
We're going to take a look at this now at your early stage, your first big breaks. Here she is, Rosemary.
It's Saturday night and it's a perfect night for dancing. I've had my makeup off and on all day, and all the king's horses, all the king's men, could never put mommy and daddy together, back together.
After singing such a sensitive number like that, you really have a very well-developed sense of humour, don't you?
Oh, yes, yes.
But she never let you finish the job.
You know, that was my career in hairdressing. But I hated it. I wasn't cut out. I wasn't cut out.
Well, you...
Thank you. Nice to have your company at home. Please welcome Rosemary. Rosemary, what did you think of Pandora?
Well, I love the name Pandora. Don't go back to Janet. I think I do, because Janet sounds so ordinary. Pandora's a great name. Yeah, you can tell you medicate. I was going to say.
Maybe she did.
Meditate, because you look so relaxed, and I wish I could do all that there.
Rosemary, your marks, please.
I feel for every performer here tonight. I give my 2 points to George Bleeks. The Righteous Stooge, I give 4 points to. Wicked Sensation, I thought they were great. They had loads of energy. I give them 6 points. Maureen Campbell-McKeever, I think the song let her down, but she's got a great voice. Big ballad next time, maybe. 8 points.
Yes, he doesn't use the guitar as a comfort blanket. I mean, he's the best player I've heard on guitar for years and years. I don't remember anybody playing as good as that. And
Rosemary.
It's not often I'm stuck for words, is it, Marty?
It's not, you know.
And words fail me listening to that man. I mean...
Can you do Ian Paisley? I hear you can.
Ian Paisley?
Yeah.
Oh, don't. Oh, you got me on the hop there.
Oh,
all right.
If you've forgotten the joke.
Depending what joke you want.
I saw you doing one on Shooting Stars with Vic and Bob.
With Vic and Bob.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know they were coming to me. Ian Paisley's holding a bicycle up in the air, and Paddy Murphy says, "What's that you're holding up in the air, Paisley?" He says, "I'm holding a rally." But thanks for making it a special evening for me. Thanks for coming out and seeing the show. And this song is about friends. I think it's nice to have friends. Can I come down and meet you?
I think Rose likes people. And you can't manufacture that. I think when she gets up before him, she actually likes talking to them and singing to them. Like you said, there's plenty of people manufacture it and had a good career out of it. But Rose isn't. I know she's like that anyway. So.
You've been married 49 years. God, the train robbers didn't get that.
She's got a good singing voice. But it's a warmth. People just love her. It's that little magic thing.
We'll get by with a little help from all of us.
Brilliant, Rosemary. So that's really about the first clip where it started for you. You were the Irish Cheryl Cole, weren't you?
Yes.
I mean, you combined comedy, very good advice on showbiz, cracking voice. You did it before her, didn't you?
Well, you see, Search for a Star was the great platform for me because although I didn't win it, it was a group called the Nobodies won it.
Right.
I got third or fourth. But I decided I would make everybody laugh on my interview with Steve Jones.
Yeah.
And on the back of that, because I had a sense of humour, I got the game show Punchlines. So I became well known for Punchlines, that Rosemary with the sense of humour, before I even got a record deal. It was a way years after that I didn't get a record deal.
Yeah.
But I kept getting... and then when I got the record deal...
Yeah.
Which Frank Carson was responsible for, and a song called When I Leave the World Behind.
Oh,
and I sang it on the Chaz and Dave show. And but because of my sense of humour, I got offered a lot of shows like Through the Keyhole and doing Go For It. That was 2 series for the BBC I did, where I was the Irish Cheryl Cole, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, Search for a Star was the X factor of its day, because that was a big production show.
Absolutely huge. I mean, I remember it, and I find it quite ironic that you set out to be a singer, but in actual fact, those couple of years, you were a presenter.
Yes, presenter and comedy, and even when I had the record success, I was doing shows like Shooting Stars with Bob and Vic, Bob and Vic Reeves, and I also did the live shows with them at the Apollo Theatre in Hammersmith.
Yeah.
But and I still love that. That's another string to my bow, as well as the acting and everything. But I loved it, and being the judge. They always have to have the judge that's a bit more controversial, and we had one of them. I was the nice one. I was the nice one. I was the good one. But you still have to be constructive criticism, and of course I've been there. You know what I mean? Doing all the working men's clubs. You've got to learn your craft. And,
you did not learn. Yes. Well, listen. What we're going to do? We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back with Rosemary after this. Hi there, welcome back. Today I'm chatting to brilliantly funny, talented lady, superb actress actually as well, Rosemary. Rosemary, right? We've seen you singing, we've seen you dancing, we've seen you doing all sorts. You've just got back from Vegas, haven't you, recently?
Yes, I have. I did Vegas for about 4 or 5 years, and I absolutely loved it. You know, played all the Golden Nugget and Caesar's Palace and places like that. Hung out with Engelbert, like you do. You know what I mean? Hung out with the hump.
And you hung out. You hung out with Tom Jones as well.
Yes, Debbie Reynolds, Tony Curtis.
Oh, lovely.
They all were there. And prior to that, before Johnny Cash died, I did a lot of stuff in Europe with Johnny Cash.
Right.
And Tommy Wynette. I mean, that was way before that there. So, but to play America, I wanted to get that out of my system.
What was it like living there?
It was very hot in Vegas, but very show busy, and I learnt an awful lot. You know, it was very glitzy and glamour, and the rooms are, the rooms that you play in are absolutely humongous and very glitzy and glamour. They do it in style in Vegas. I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it because it's everything I dreamed of. You know, when you're growing up. I actually lived in Vegas, just on the Strip.
Yeah.
So I did, around the corner from the Hilton Hotel on the Desert Road, it was called. And I made a lot of friends, a lot of showbiz pals, and they all supported me and everything. It took a while to get going. Yeah. So I used to play the Sundays at the Golden Nugget when Gladys Knight was off.
Right.
And then I'd do the Sundays at the Hilton when Sheena Easton was off. Right. So I'd alternate, and then I did a lot of outdoor concerts. What a great
experience though.
Great experience, absolutely, yeah.
And the other thing is, you've got an album coming up called My Big Fat, what is it? Big
Gypsy
Songbook here. We're going to play a couple of songs, just a little showcase out of it in a minute. you've got so many travellers that you've got loads of travellers that follow you, they're fans.
Yes.
Big fan base. Why do you think that is?
I think I sing all these so I bring the songs back from years ago and do them in my own style. What some people call them torch songs, love songs, ballads, whichever, and a wee bit of country rock,
power ballads,
audience participation, sing-alongs, the big power ballads, a bit of everything, and a bit of quite emotional. A lot of the songs are, and they love me for it. And they followed me all in Vegas and, of course, all in the UK concerts and everything. And I get asked to sing at all their weddings, funerals, anniversaries and everything. And every time I just did a festival recently for the travelling community, and a big outdoor festival, and you know the love songs like Crazy, for instance, or the Can You Sing So Lucky, Can You Sing That, Can You Sing This, and Can Hurt, you know, all the sentimental songs. So why haven't you recorded this? So this is a selection of songs that I keep getting asked for. And also the BBC asked me to well, what happened was they were doing a documentary on the travellers and going to their homes and their churches and a whole documentary.
Yeah, My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding.
There's talk about they want me to be involved in that, but this was a radio show for Radio 2, and they said we don't want anybody coming to interview us unless it's Rosemary. So I got the gig, and no script or anything. I just did it at the top of my head, and I was allowed into their homes.
How lovely.
And it was called The Silent Revival, and that went out on Radio 2 quite a few times.
How superb.
And it was then that I really noticed that, you know, I have an awful lot of loyal fans in the travelling community, yes.
Well, we're going to take a listen now.
Which is great.
Oh, absolutely. And so here's Rosemary and a little selection of the songs that are going to be on that album.
I love you.
There we go. Just a couple of the songs that's going to be on Rosemary's new CD. That's great. That's really
Thank you
good.
very much.
So they're a good sort of combination of the good oldies.
Yes.
A couple of power ballads, a couple of bits and bobs.
Yeah,
really,
a wee bit of country kicking in there.
Now, you, I was laughing, I was looking at the things that have been said about you. Les Dawson, he told an audience, she has a voice that had worn shipping in the Solent. That's what he was saying. But you've actually performed in front of Princess Di, haven't you?
I did indeed.
Yeah.
Well, I've played the Palladium myself on my one-woman show 3 times.
Yeah.
But although I enjoyed it, I really loved doing the show for Princess Diana, and I got to meet her backstage. I was a huge fan of hers, you know. And she said to me, I did sort of a sing-along medley to get all the audience going as part of my act. And she says, I enjoyed your singing, but she says, you made me laugh too, she says. So she was lovely, and that was great. And I've sang for Princess Anne as well, and she's great fun. Everybody thinks that she might be, you know, a bit po-faced, but she's not.
No.
She's fabulous. And I was singing...
Your Royal Highness, you're officially on the Debi Jones show here, cruising with the stars. You're not po-faced.
Because I was singing Stand By Me, and I was going, everybody stand by me, whoa. And she had her lady in waiting beside her, and she was going out, and somebody spoke behind her, and she turned around and she gave them a look, as much as to say, stop talking in the middle of Rosemary's. And she was clapping her hands.
Great?
She was great.
She's
absolutely
good fun,
fabulous.
Actually. She's fun. And I did notice with that very first clip, you had a tiny, weeny, little short skirt on. With those,
nothing's changed.
No, nothing's changed with those great big fat legs hanging from it. No, those
fat legs are the fat.
No, that was a joke because your legs caused a political row, didn't they?
They did, yes. I had an album out, and the cover on it was me wearing a gypsy dress, and I'm just holding it up and you know, posing. So they used this particular album cover for the posters on my tour, and it was a theatre called the Lewisham Theatre in South London, and they had the loony lefts said we have to tear it down, and they put up a passport-sized photograph. So the South London press picked up on it.
Why did they say? Why did they?
And all I was doing was just showing a bit of leg up to here, and you know, and going like that, there, and a tiny bit of cleavage, but it was not hardly any cleavage.
They said it was sexist.
You know, and it said I was sexist to women, which I have a big following of women. So you know, certainly I'm not sexist at all.
How ridiculous.
But then I was on News at 10. News at 10 picked up on it. All the major newspapers picked up on it. So my manager got the call from Lloyd's Insurance Company, and he went ahead and insured my legs for, I don't know, I think about £1 million. Was it? £1 million. Your legs so I couldn't ride a horse, bicycles. I couldn't do anything. So I had to be very careful because of the insurance. So it was. You know, a very strange time, you know, because...
but did you find that all that publicity and being on News at 10 and everything, that's just great, isn't it, for your career?
Well, I think my manager and my agents and all thought it was great, but I thought to myself, I didn't like the way they said I was sexist to women, but all my fans would know that I am quite the opposite from that.
No, you're actually, and I will say this because I know so many women that have followed you for years, you're a woman's woman.
Yes, very much so.
I mean, that's what I always like to think. I am as well. You don't take yourself too seriously.
No.
You make the best of what you've got, and you're a good-looking woman, but, you know, you enjoy good crack with the girls.
I do. And that's on and off stage.
Yes,
I mean, when I come off stage, Debbie, I swear, I do another 2-hour show while I'm doing autographs.
Yes.
I never get home till all hours in the morning. So I have to rush off, you know, dry my hair if I'm a bit hot, because I'm quite energetic on stage, as you know. And I've got to change into something to meet my public who are queuing up, you know, for me to sign the CDs and sign the photographs and whatever. So you've got to look good because you're facing the public that you are on stage.
Absolutely.
And I end up having sing-songs with them, you know, while I'm doing the autographs and having a laugh and a joke.
I know that you go over and above the cause of duty. That's it, Rosemary. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and we'll be back in just a little while. Hi there, welcome back. Now today I'm chatting to Rosemary and we'll be back with her in just a tick. Let me remind you about this though, going out in their thousands. These are a super little brochure and it's your first time guide to cruising. If you've never cruised before and you've got questions you'd like to ask, you'll probably find most of the answers are in this. Two ways of getting your hands on one. Call us on 0871 423 4444. If you do it that way, the calls will cost 10p a minute from a BT landline, and other networks, the mobiles will vary, or do it via the internet. That's totally free. Just get in touch with us on www.holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk. Right, back to the lovely Rosemary. Just tell us, our viewers, because I think this is a lovely little story about how you funded your very first record, because you knew the song you wanted to record, but you couldn't afford to record it.
This is very true. Well, this was shortly after, you know, I was very well known from doing punchlines, but I couldn't get a record deal, and I did my first pantomime with Frank Carson at the Grand Opera House in Belfast, and it was Dick Whittington, and I had a fabulous time, and he was fabulous to me, great mentor. And he says, you should be the greatest, biggest singer ever come out of Ireland, he says, and you keep seeing you on the TV on funny shows and game shows and stuff, and what about your recording career? And I says, well, I have the song, Frank, I says, but I haven't got a record deal, and if I wanted to record it myself, it's going to be very expensive to do it in the studio. So he says, I tell you what, he says, I'll introduce you to Barney Eastwood. Now, Barney Eastwood was the big manager of Barry McGuigan, the boxer, and he was very well known. And he introduced me to him, and Barney Eastwood sort of said, I'll foot the bill. And he gave me the money, and I went into the studio. I recorded it, first of all, in Belfast. And then, so I says to Barney, I'll pay you back the money when I get my royalties. Now, I hadn't had a record deal at this stage, so I thought, well, I will pay him back the money some way. And then my agent got the call for me to go on Search for a Star on LWT, which is London Weekend Television. And I sang with Chaz and Dave, You're Nobody Till Somebody Loves You. And then I got to sing When I Leave the World Behind, which is it's an Irving Berlin song. And the switchboards was jammed, people, because they hadn't heard this song. It's a very old song from years ago. Bing Crosby also did a version of it. And there's me bringing back this icon of a song that people hadn't heard for years. And, you know, it was the public on the switchboards wanting to know where could they get Rosemary singing, you know, where could they buy a copy of it. Of course, I didn't have the record deal, but among the many calls was record companies, and I could pick and choose whichever record company I wanted. And
the burning question, did you manage to pay Barry?
Yes, with interest.
How super.
When I got my first royalty check,
That's a lovely story.
Yes, and that was that started the ball rolling for my genre of the type of music I wanted to do, like bring back all these old songs that some of them have been forgotten about and do them in my own style.
And wonderfully you do them as well. Listen, we're going to take a look now at another example of your acting, because when I watched that first clip, which was from Doctors, you remind me in the second clip we're going to see now of, what's the girl's name? She married the head of Channel 4. She used to be on Coronation Street. Sarah Lancashire. Take a look at this.
Oh, really?
And our viewers, take a look. Doesn't she look like Sarah Lancashire? Here we go.
Have you had a rough day, love?
Excuse me?
Well, if you don't mind me saying so, but you look like you've been dragged through a hedge backwards.
Close.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Rough and ready gets me every time.
Yeah? Maybe I'll get myself cleaned up then.
I'll keep your stool warm for you, love.
I bet you will.
On our report from the world of the media, John and Marta Henley security footage of the stalker causing severe damage to the Henleys' video installation last vandalised the house and attacked Marta Henley, who was fortunate to escape with bruising to the face. The man identified as Alex Watt. Ironically, the Henleys have been strongly criticised for their provocative use of violent imagery. Sounds like a case of life imitating art. Wouldn't you say so, Doug?
Can you give me the police? Quickly.
Quickly, please.
Aren't you going to have your drink?
Oh, yes, of course.
How is it, madam?
Lovely, thank you. Thank you.
Whoa. So was he a murderer?
Yes.
Right.
And I don't know it until I see the news in the bar.
And,
well, I'm all
seen
nervous
this.
and I can't get out.
Did you get out? Did you get away? Did the police come?
The police come down the stairs after that clip, yes.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah, the director was a guy called David Furman, and that was my first movie.
Yeah.
And he's offered me now to star in another movie, and it's going to be something similar to Godspell and Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, so...
Don't tell me you're playing Mary Magdalene.
Well, I don't know yet.
Well, as long as it's not Pontius Pilate, Rosemary,
no,
that's amazing.
I hope not.
Which do you prefer, acting or singing, or being a comedian?
Well, I think the whole... Well, number one, if you're a singer and you're doing a power ballad, as you call it, and it's a very emotional ballad, you have to act the words out to make people believe and to know what you're singing about. So there's a certain amount of acting goes into that.
Yeah.
All three is part of what I do on stage because I love making the audience laugh, love having a sing-song, having the crack, as we say in Ireland. And... But singing is my number one. The acting is you know, it's great too, and the presenting, anything. I love having loads of strings to my bow.
It's always good.
Keeps you on your toes.
And in this business, you don't want all your eggs in one basket.
No.
No. Well, listen,
Exactly.
we're going to see your singing final. Here we go. This is must have been written for you. There's a little bit of Irish. Here we go.
There's a little bit of Irish in everybody's heart. Sure, no matter where you wander, you'll agree. Though you're not from Connemara, Donegal or County Down, sure your heart forgets its struggling when they sing of Dublin town. Though you've never seen the garden where the pretties grow, and you've never sailed across the Irish Sea, sure a little bit of Irish in everybody's heart makes the whole world love an Irish melody. They say that mighty river must burst out of a spring, and the joys that must be happy must first learn how to sing. And that's why God made Ireland, to help them all along. And the finest way to help them is to give their hearts a song. Oh, you've never seen the garden where the pretties grow, and you've never sailed across the Irish Sea. Sure, a little bit of Irish in everybody's heart makes the whole world love an Irish melody. From London town to old New York, they sing of Galway Bay. Sure, it fills the hearts of everyone when it falls St. Patrick's Day. For that's the day of the honor, an isle they've never seen. But they are proud to sing the song, the wearing of the green. Oh, you've never seen the garden where the pretties grow, and you've never sailed across the Irish Sea. Sure, a little bit of Irish in every
There we go, Rosemary. And if you've only just joined us, we've only got about a minute or so left. What a shame. I'm just going to rattle this off because Rosemary has picked up awards for National Female Singer of the Year, Best International Concert Star and Most Popular Singer at the International Music Awards. She's played Mrs. Johnson in Blood Brothers for Bill Kenwright. She's had a special guest role in the drama Doctors. She's played the role of Barbara Cassidy in the musical The Eva Cassidy Story. You have just more or less done it all. Is there anything you haven't done that you would like to do before you turn up your toes?
Before I put my slippers on.
Before you put your slippers on. And
I would love to do a big musical film that stretches me with the acting and the music. Something like The Bodyguard, for instance, or some of the movies that Beaches and some, you know, the Stars Born that Bette Midler done. And Cher and Barbara Streisand.
Silver,
you know.
what was that one? Oh yeah, that would be good.
So yes, I'd love to do a big musical like that there. And I'd love to do duets with some of the greatest, like Michael Bublé, Tom Jones, and people like that there. Yes, and of course Bette Midler, my idol. Love to do a duet. There's not enough.
Have you ever met her?
No.
Right.
I thought I would have in America, but no, sadly no.
Yeah.
But yes, so lots of great ambition. I like to keep the ambition kicking in and not rest on my, laurels or whatever the expression is.
I think you're right. And of course, the 2013 tour. Already selling like crazy.
Yes,
so
all over the country.
All over the country.
UK tour. I'm looking forward to that. And it's great to be back in the UK again.
Well, when you're in Liverpool, I'm going to come and see you.
Fabulous.
And I want a free seat. Right. Rosemary, been brilliant. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you, Debbie.
For Rosemary and myself, Deb, till next time. Take care. Brilliant.